I can't really sugarcoat about what happened yesterday regarding what my low is. Especially when everything leading up to that was pretty darn great. But I can't really. And sometimes there are some things that are technically considered lows that, are either too sensitive to talk about, or, maybe I forget, or, yeah, they're bad, but you wouldn't really call them a low. But trust me, this qualifies as my low for sure. It's so bad I can actually hear sirens going on outside. And that's the one joke I'm going to be making about that. So full disclosure, my mom and I got in an argument last night. I'd rather not go into the details about what specifically it was, but it left a real bitter taste in my mouth. And the thing about my mom is one of those people where even if she makes her point, she doesn't stop. And if you try calling her out on any of that, it makes it worse. That's not, granted, that's not the worst trait about her, I can assure you, but it's up there. All I could really do is do what wanted to be my act of kindness. And last night, my mom actually made a mac and cheese for dinner, as well as have something in the crock pot for a certain event in a few days. So, needless to say, the only thing I really could do is, clean the kitchen for her, or at least do the dishes, which I wound up doing. And it bothers me so much, too, because my high is, okay, so literally I'm visiting my folks yesterday afternoon, and little would I know, my mom actually got the greatest surprise visit ever. And that's because my nephews came over to visit, and my parents had just opened up their pool. And outside of the fact that I'm regretting not bringing my swim trunks, I was just so overwhelmed with joy that, my brother and I grew up playing in that pool. We were, pretty much the entire time I've been alive, I can't picture any instance where that pool wasn't around. I think it was probably there before I was born. I was there for a new lining for it. And then we had a pool deck put on it. Then we had a mini water slide. We got our basketball hoop that we had in the driveway, and then we put it next to the pool because, come on, who doesn't love, playing pool basketball, And I got to see my nephews play in that. Play in the water. I mean, they're a little small to be able to shoot a basketball, I can assure you of that. And, okay, here's the thing about the water slide that we have. It's about probably, I'm guessing about up to here, where I'm sitting, I guess. It's not a very big water slide. But you literally can, sit at the very bottom of it and, put your feet in the water and stuff like that. Or the point I'm trying to get is my nephews are a little small to be on the slide by themselves, or to go down the slide by themselves. I mean, They can climb a ladder, even though I would probably say that's a little dangerous too, even though, again, it's not a very big water slide. You know, they could still fall and still get hurt. Although luckily the pool deck is carpeted, so it's not like the fall would be horrible, unless they somehow landed wrong and landed on the side of, you know, the pool where that part's like, you know, metal. That would be very painful, and very sad if that actually happened to my nephews. Anyway, like, my nephews are playing in that very pool, and all I can really do is just take pictures of the moment. That's seriously, you found me on like social media. I took like a whole bunch of pictures, and they're everywhere. You know, I tried to get some with my mom and my nephews. You know, my brother, my nephews. A couple with my dad and my nephews. I mean, somebody had to hold the camera. That's why you don't see me in any of those photos at all. Actually, I just realized that my collar is good. Okay, yeah, that's okay. And it was all great. But again, the argument I had with my mom, you know, kind of negated all that. But again, all I could really do is, you know, tidy up the kitchen. Because here's the thing, whenever my mom makes like dinner, it's either clean almost immediately after dinner, or she'll leave it in there. And when she makes mac and cheese, she uses like a whole bunch of like different things, like a food processor and stuff like that. So I took it upon myself to at least clean the parts of the food processor, and everything else you can put in the dishwasher. Yeah, some metal objects you're not allowed to put in the dishwasher, like a pot or a pan. At least my parents don't do that, and you know, it's their house, so whatever they say goes, right? Man, this is conflicting. This is a really conflicting. I mean, the argument was probably one of the worst arguments I've had with my mom in quite a while. But I promised myself way back after day 1300 that, you know, I was going to try and do what I can not to have stuff like this, or if I do, don't let it make my day outright bad or have it ruin my day. And I think what's saving me from saying that is the fact that I was with my nephews. You know, playing, you know, watching them playing the pool and whatever. It was great. It was fun. Although I will admit, I was also thinking, because here's the thing, I obviously was not a very popular guy growing up, even though I had like a pool and everything. I'm like, man, I should invite people out to have pool parties. I mean, technically I could still do it now, because, you know, even better, I can have pool parties when I'm 30. 32, actually. But then again, you know, there's Cuba Lake. You know, that's essentially like a pool party, but like 100-fold. I don't know. And the sad part is, I actually had something planned and funny to talk. Well, technically I can still talk about what I was going to talk about. So I'm going to try and cheer myself up a little bit by mentioning what I was going to talk about. And that is, well, first of all, good morning and happy Thursday, everyone. Wow, almost 10 minutes in, and it took this long to say it. So I've been privy to who this week's Hot Ones guest is going to be, and much like Queen Latifah was a week ago, this is a celebrity in which I'm very much pleasantly surprised that they got this particular celebrity to be on Hot Ones, especially when I was not remotely expecting it. For those of you who don't know, the celebrity in question is Kevin Bacon. Now, Kevin Bacon, if you don't know who he is, don't worry, I will be nice. I will be happy to talk about him a little bit. You know, he he is a movie star that's been around since like the 70s and 80s. And he's been in a lot of really great movies. I mean, easily his most famous is Footloose, which my introduction to Footloose was actually doing choir at Horseheads when, for the Pops concert, we had to sing Footloose, which, honestly, at the time, because here's the thing, even though singing in choir can be fun, some songs are really just better left not sung in a choir at all, or if they are sung in a choir, they're good, but they're not as good. Kind of like the whole once you've had steak, hamburgers just aren't as good type scenario. And when I finally heard the real version of Footloose is the one, because I haven't seen Footloose, but come on, Footloose has been on the radio forever. The song, that is. So, I can most definitely say I've heard the song Footloose. I've never seen the movie though. Although they would make for interesting movies. I should do that. I really should do that at some point. I mean, I know what Footloose is about. Though if I ever do a movie then I should probably just save that for then, right? Is there any other but here's my all-time favorite like Kevin Bacon related thing ever. This was, gosh, I would not be surprised if this was like 10 years ago. Where like there was this one commercial that was promoting like this one sort of keyboard that you could like wirelessly like do for your TV, where you can type something in on that keyboard, and on your TV you can, you know, watch like YouTube videos and stuff like that. And the commercial about it involved, you know, a guy who, looking back on it now, obviously it was Kevin Bacon in disguise, but you know, it was a pretty good makeup and costume design or whatever on the production team of that commercial. So way to go. Where it starts off like in front of a house, and then you hear like a voiceover of who's obviously Kevin Bacon in disguise, like, "My favorite movie actor of all time, that's easy, Kevin Bacon." And then it cuts in, yeah, it's Kevin Bacon in disguise. And the commercial is like one of the funniest commercials I think I've ever seen ever, because he's talking about stuff like, "My favorite Kevin Bacon movie, it'd be a tie between all of them." He literally laughed like that too. It was great. The guy talks about how like he had a custom made art painting of like himself and the actual real Kevin Bacon, like he had like, you know, made and stuff like that. Yeah, that's funny. And then he's talking about the keyboard thing I just mentioned, where like just type in, you know, the YouTube videos in Google, just type in Kevin Bacon, and then it cuts to when Kevin Bacon's character in Footloose says, "Let's dance," and then the guy's like, "My wife is actually worried that if I watch too much Kevin Bacon, I actually might turn into Kevin Bacon." That commercial just got me, but not for the reason you might be thinking, because there's actually a guy I knew in high school who I actually know since I was a little kid. And fun fact, I'm actually going to his wedding in September, where I swear if this commercial came, because he was actually a year older than I was, so he graduated from Horseheads before I did. But this commercial came out like maybe a year and a half after. I'm like, man, if he was only around when that commercial existed, he would have quoted it to no end whatsoever. And it would have been hilarious. Oh, man. But, yeah, Kevin Bacon on Hollywood. That should be really good. I mean, the only thing I can really speculate right now is, I mean, I'm sure Sean Evans is going to ask him about what's it like growing up where he was from. I personally hope they mention Footloose, just simply because, you know, it's Footloose. From what I hear, that actually got a remake, and I heard the remake's actually pretty decent. Actually, not only did the movie Footloose make the song Footloose famous, the Another song that was quite famous from that movie is Holding Out for a Hero, which, funny enough, the first time I ever really heard that song, excuse me, excuse me, first time I ever heard Holding Out for a Hero was from Shrek 2. I didn't know any better. But, you know, in the end, this is a really good movie that I personally can't wait to, you know, check out and see. Actually, an episode of Hot Ones, movie. Yeah, I say this episode of Hot Ones is going to be movie length. No, it should be a good episode of Hot Ones, I think. I'm not going to lie. Right now I'm feeling kind of better. I guess sometimes all you need is a good laugh to make you feel better about something. And that's the lesson for today's video. Like, favorite, check the subscribe button, follow me on social media platforms, creation, YouTube. I am very homely this video for all of you guys watching Joe for today. It'll be a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. And if you ever think I'm going to talk to you, I'll be here to let me know. I'll be back. Take care and make good choices. See ya.